Two words. J. Cole. J. Cole's dropping on Friday. All right. So I'm gonna need all of us to wake up, okay? Because it's a cold world all year. So J. Cole is dropping, he is dropping February 6th. And we've known this for about a month now. All right. So we're getting colder and colder to the release date. And to get things even more hype, Cole has released the back cover. And not only did the back cover, do we get the cover, but we got a glimpse of the track list. So let me go ahead and zoom into this. So if you could see, if you look closely, we got to disc 29 and disc 39. So what do these numbers represent? These numbers represent ages, significant ages of Cole as he was coming up in the music game. So if you check out this track list, Run a Train is crazy, by the way. Um, if we look at this track list, it tells a story of what exactly some things we're going to be getting into. Some things that stand out to me is Bombs in the Ville, because that kind of sounds like Bombs Over Baghdad, right? And then another one that stands out to me, Quick Stop sounds like it's going to be a fun record. Quick Stop is a gas station. I think Inevitable is going to be a smash. And the reason why I'm looking forward to Inevitable is because that's kind of the purpose of this project. You know, Cole says the fall off is inevitable. So usually when the track sounds like the project name, this is usually the strongest record, right? So let me know what y'all think in the comment section. But I'm super excited for this. Let's go ahead and take another closer look to the project. So we have some posters on the wall. I see 50 Cent. I see DMX, I see Exhibit, I see Eminem. I can't really make out the others. By the way, just I'm 31 years old, guys, all right? Just got to show y'all my age, tell y'all my age because I know a lot of y'all older heads is like, "Okay, I see, but I'm pretty limited, okay?" But yes, that's what we have on the wall. And that definitely goes into the theme with the fall off. If y'all get some background information on the fall off is Cole at the peak of his career, with his mixtapes, the Come Up, Warm Up, Friday Night Lights, his Sideline Story, Born Sinner, 2014 Forest Hills Drive, For Your Eyes Only, KOD, The Off Season, and now The Fall Off. Was I right? Did I get a ding ding ding? Let me know in the comments. But Cole has a way of documenting his rise in the industry, and he allows that to lead him in his pen and making up these names for his albums. So the fall off is pretty head on. Despite people assuming that this is his final project, they are this has several things behind it. Also that whole Kendrick and Drake beef. People are saying he fell off after that. Whoop de doo. Um, and I also want to talk about the meaning of the fall off. So that's Cole talking about he came up in the industry, and now he's at the top. He Once you're at the top, you're kind of bound to fall off. And I love that meaning behind the album because Cole just has the same thought process as me. We're very realistic people. I don't know, maybe it's because we got almost the same birthday, but we're very realistic people. So when we see success, we don't see success as just like I'm on. We see success as everything got an expiration date. Okay. Don't matter how successful you get, you two things you can't dodge, or two things that are inevitable: passing away and you not being as popular as you once was. It's kind of interesting because I think about if Pac and Biggie were still alive right now, what would it be like? Because I'm trying to think, do we have like a goat from that time? I mean, I guess Diddy is a horrible example, but let's just talk about Diddy. Despite everything that's happening, no, let's talk about everything that's happening. So there's some shit, but let's talk. Nas and Jay Z. Is Nas somebody that everybody wants on their album? No. But Pac and Biggie were so damn hot. Even if they were alive today, they wouldn't be in everybody's. Let me turn this down a little. They wouldn't be in on everybody's album, and that's just how the game goes. They will be goats, they will be respected, but no, everybody wouldn't be calling them because after a while, you got the crown, okay? And that's just how people are. And Cole has an understanding of that. I believe the song She Knows, there's a line where it says, only thing about a star is they burn up. So he has this understanding behind stardom. People that are small minded, they see stardom as like, I'm on. Good. But Cody's realistic, like, I'm on, but shit, this ride, I'm gonna ride this wave as long as I can, but one day I'm gonna get old, and this shit gonna get old to me, and I just kind of, I gotta keep my funds straight so I can just, live the actual life I want, hence love yours. Like he has that understanding, so I really love the idea of the fall off. But looking at the posters, a lot of people do not know the representation. This is real. Now, I don't know if they edited the picture a little bit, uh, to make it look more cover art material or back cover art material, but this is real. Cole really had posters in his room in 2014 Forest Hills Drive, where it all began when he was a kid, and he would keep these posters on a wall to basically manifest that one day he's gonna be as great as these people like Eminem, Jay Z, Nas, and that's what makes this project so much special. Like a lot of people don't mm, really get the weight of this. I think it's gonna be the best album of the year. Just knowing Cole, I think it's gonna be the best album of the year. But people don't understand the weight, and the weight is this is gonna basically be a summary of his career. And if y'all know, when it comes to every album embodies Cole's career, but the come up, the warm up, the Friday Night Lights, it's like a soundtrack. So I'm thinking that this is going to be a summary of that soundtrack. And then maybe towards the end, let's see what the final songs are called on both discs. So Hit the Gas, Lonely at the Top, Ocean Way. Wait, no. Yeah, one and 11 songs. Okay. So at the bottom, Lonely at the Top, Ocean Way. So I'm looking at those two tracks, titles. And I can say this. Ocean Way. I don't know anything about Ocean Way. It sounds like a street. Should we look up where Ocean Way is? My phone. See the phone. I don't know where my phone is at. What the hell? Okay, I want to look up Ocean Way. Give me a second. Hopefully this doesn't make my computer lag. Ocean Way. I'm gonna assume Ocean Way is in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Let's look it up. Ocean Way, Fayetteville. I really need from phone. It should be lagging on here. Ocean Way. No. Is it in New York City? Okay, let me go ahead and it's lagging in it. Yeah, that's why I don't do that. Okay, but anyways, yeah, all right, so back into the show. So, yeah, I don't know where Ocean Way is at, but knowing Cole, all of these tracks tell a story. And knowing him, the final tracks at the bottom of every disc is it's a summary. So, I feel like this whole track list is tells us like the in between. Like we know what happened during the highs, like with Cole meeting Jay-Z and Cole getting lost in Hollywood. We know the highs, but we don't really know the in between. So maybe Cole is gonna go ahead and give us in between. Let me go ahead and find my phone. Hold on. Okay. So I was doing research on Ocean Way. Ocean Way, it's either a recording studio in Nashville, Tennessee, Ocean Way, Hollywood, or somewhere in Texas. Cole don't ever talk about Texas, so I'm gonna go ahead and X that one out. Um, but yeah, so let's go ahead and get into what he discussed when he released this information. So he wrote us a letter, and that's why I really do feel like it's giving last album vibes because Cole don't ever give us backstories or insights about his drops. He don't even really give us insights in interviews. So that's why it is kind of giving farewell vibes. He actually got a song called Farewell. Um, but that's why I feel like it's giving those vibes. So let's talk about what it says. Some of the very first verses for the come up were written when I was just 19 years old. The title of that project, the first one I would ever release, had a double meaning. There was the obvious one, my ambitions to come up in the rap game. The second was more subtle, my physical change of location to do so. I was a delusional teenager from Fayetteville, North Carolina, who had decided to leave home and come up to New York City on a dream chasing mission. He sure did. When you listen to that project, you hear a college kid with a real sharp pen telling the world how he's going to make it and proudly put his unknown city on the map in the process. And he did. Towards the end of the come up, a couple skits tell a common story for me at that age. Me driving back home from school on a holiday break, calling my mom to let her know I'm a few hours away, then calling my homeboys, excited to let them know I'm back in town, asking where the party at. He was on his Jagged Edge shit. The Fall Off, a double album made with intentions to be my last. He said intentions, y'all. Intention with the intentions. He didn't say it's his last album. Me trying to be positive, although it is giving farewell vibes. But um, Chicago. You gonna come in here? Um. So he said it with the intention. So maybe he changed his mind. I'm just trying to stay positive. Um, brings the concept of my first project full circle. Okay, like I say, he's giving us the in between of what went down. Now, Disc 29 tells the story of me returning to my hometown at age 29, a decade after moving to a New York, accomplishing what would have seemed impossible to most. I was at a crossroads with three loves of my life: my woman, my craft, and my city. He's talked about this. Um, 639 gives insight into my mindset during a similar trip home, this time as a 39-year-old man, older and a little closer to peace. Are we ever actually close to peace? Without giving away too much more, here's the back cover of The Fall Off. All pictures in this version of the album were shot by me. The front and back cover are photographs I took when I was 15. The back cover that includes the tracklist is a picture I took of the walls in my bedroom at the time. Thank you to every artist and photographer that cleared these pictures. I woke up every morning as a teenager quite literally looking up to y'all. Literally. When this album releases, please know that you, in some deeper metaphysical way, are in the music too. And besides, like I said, besides Cole being the best rapper alive, I love Cole's story. Like he really manifested everything he has. You know, from the pictures on the wall to the titles of his album. A lot of people do not know about the come up, and that's crazy because, of course, my life goal is to interview J. Cole. Duh. That's why I'm here for like 10 years, you know. So that, nah, like just to break, not break character, but just to like step out the podcast real quick and, just be a fan. Yo, I'm gonna get this Cole interview, okay? I don't care what nobody says. I don't care what any hater says. I don't care. I don't care. I'm gonna get this Cole interview. You want me to give you proof of how I know I'm gonna get this Cole interview? Let me tell y'all a quick story. So one thing me and Cole we're big on is manifestation, all right? And I unintentionally feel like I manifested my journalism career. So when I was at the age, my daughter's in here by the way, if you hear noise, but when I was at the age of, I'm gonna say 15, 2009, 2000, maybe 2010. I was 15 years old. And keep in mind, I was not in journalism. I never had a plan to get into journalism. I never had a plan at all. And one day my dad came home. I don't know why the lighting is so bad. But one day my dad came home with the magazine because he knew I was a Cole fan. Keep in mind, I've been a Cole fan since 2009. Um, the warm up, like crazy, like crazy. If you guys know what I mean, like the Dat Piff days, like what? I was into Cushion OJ, but low key, I don't know much about, hey, Shy. Low key, I don't know much about labels and how they work because I think Cole got signed in 2009, but I don't know how it works. It might be generic, might not, but let's assume it was generic. Or let's assume it was organic. Sh- let's assume it was organic, right? Low key, Cole needs to thank Wiz Khalifa for his success. Right? I know. But low key, but let me tell you why. Um, Shy Shy. Shh. Let me tell you why. Ah, get over here. Get over here. Okay. But let me tell you why Paul needs to thank Wiz Khalifa. So let me know if this is you guys too. But the DAP Piff era, website broken. Okay, internet broken. Currency, Wiz Khalifa, Cushion OJ. Okay, so at that point we was already locked in. But I don't know if y'all remember during the block era, but right after the Cushion OJ, I wouldn't say the success fizzled out, but there was like that the cool down after it was just so damn hot. Cole, then Kendrick Lamar. Do y'all remember that? Okay, so let me just tell you guys, that's how it all went down for me. I can't stand the lag. Um, Yeah, so I was like 15 at the time, and my dad came home with this magazine right here. This is Respect Magazine second anniversary edition, J. Cole. A lot of people always have seen me with me. I actually had the actual magazine. I don't have it no more, unfortunately, when I left Atlanta. But let me tell you the story. So my dad came home in 2015 with this. I was not a journalist. I had no goals, no dreams, no aspirations, or nothing. And my dad just came home because he knew I was a Cole fan. If you guys know about this cover, he has no hair, all right? So this is early Cole, okay? Yeah, this is early Cole. Fast forward, it was 2016 and I actually got into music journalism. And I've been a big Cole fan since 2009. So during 2016, I'm way deep. I'm not knee deep. I'm way deep as being a Cole fan, right? So I started a music blog in where I'm from, the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia, and uh I started covering like local artists and stuff, and then I started a blog, and then I built a resume from there, and then I started, sending out my resume to like different places like Complex Magazine, Double XL, the Source Magazine. Double XL was always my goal. I never made it to Double XL. I made it to Complex though. Never made it to Double XL, but I've been in the offices, so I was like, hey, I kind of did. But, but yeah. So the company that hired me is this cover, Respect Magazine, as y'all can see, you know, there. So, boom. Once that happened to me, I was like, manifestation is so real. Um, and there's more stories after that, but that's probably the biggest one for me. And it's like, I know I'm gonna get this Cole interview. I know I am. And when it happens, you guys, when it happens, I'm gonna need y'all. When y'all see it, I don't want no congratulations. I don't want nothing. I just want to hear y'all say God is real, okay? God is real. Hearing point blank. When you want something and you speak it into existence, you gonna make that shit happen, okay? So yeah, real story, real life story, and that's what Cole did. And a lot of people don't know, but Cole's first mixtape, The Come Up, like that shit was incredible. Like a lot of people talk about the warm up and they talk about Friday Night Lights, but they don't ever talk about The Come Up. The Come Up is an amazing mixtape. In my opinion, realistically, I feel like it's the best. Um, no, that's not say that. Realistically, I feel like the warm up is the best. To me, warm up is the best. But when it comes to historically, the come up is the best. And I feel that way because the come up was so dope and it was so raw because you could literally hear the emotions through every track. Like in his vocals, you could really hear his emotions and how bad he wanted it. And that just goes back to manifestation. Like he spoke that into existence. Like Simba, what's the line? Man, I'm hungry, done show. Ain't that a funny fucking joke? I'm getting money to my pocket. See the tummy tuck? Like he was speaking that shit into existence. He was rapping like he already made it, and I don't think he did not have a record deal. Did not. He didn't have the record deal till the warm up. Um, but that's just how spectacular it is, and the fall off is just very necessary. And like I said with the interview, that's the question I always wanted to ask him. Like I always wanted to ask him. I've always manifested an interview where we're talking about the come up because I feel like people never ask him about the come up. And they talk about just like just shit, but I can definitely understand why he would make the fall off like in kind of, I think the word is ode to the come up, because a lot of shit was going down in the come up, okay? And it was a reason why we got the Cole we have today. Like, everything is just full circle, and like he said in the message, he made things full circle. Now, as for, just to close this out, let's talk about, is this the last album? So like I said, it is giving farewell vibes. Trying not to get emotional when I talk about this, but it is getting farewell vibes. But if this was to be Cole's album, Chicago, girl, can you not? Hold on. You gotta give these kids some crackers sometimes to get out your farts. No, I'm just joking. I love when my daughter's with me when I'm recording, but I just don't like when people see her. No. Like I know, like if I showed her enough on social media, but I don't know. It's just something about it. But anyways, uh, yeah, I wish I could have my kids in on these podcast videos all the time, but I know how things can get. Um, so yeah, so is this Cole's album last album? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think he has more to give, and the music industry is gonna seriously suck without him. Drake, Kendrick, Cole, they keep hip hop alive. Without them, we wouldn't have shit. Um, all these other rappers, we can keep two. Okay, we can keep two. Listen, listen. We can keep Uzi and we can keep Lucky. The rest of y'all can go wherever y'all going. Y'all can go. And that's not to be offensive, cause I respect like the Futures and the 21 Savages and everything, but I feel like we got enough of y'all. Like we had enough. Um, yeah. And Cardi, and that's the one I was gonna say. That's the one I was gonna say, but Cardi, I think we had enough of you. I think we had enough. I'm a Cardi fan. If Juice WRLD was still alive, Juice WRLD could definitely stay. If X was still alive, X could stay. But yeah, all the rest of them can go. Like, and that's not me coming from a hater place because I'd love to see somebody get their money, but I'm a big hip hop fan, so I just had to be pretty like hardcore when it comes to my opinion on that. But the rest of y'all can go. But Cole, Drake, and Kendrick Lamar, without them, there would be no hip hop. And if this was to be Cole's last album, I would completely understand because, like I said, Cole's releases have been a story. The come up, the warm up, and in that order. And the story eventually ends. Cole has always looked at himself as Simba. We had grown Simba, and I think we had another one. Um, he's always looked at himself like like his life like a movie. So was this premeditated? Probably. Fuck. Okay, I don't want the movie to end. Um, I think Cole, if it was to end here though, I completely understand. He's a father now, and I have two kids myself. I'm a mother of two, and when you have kids, and as time goes on, especially look, the way life goes, you want to really cherish that time. So, he has his wife too. So I get it. I understand. But damn, I wish I could be selfish and be like, Cole, no. But I got so much love for Cole. Whatever he wants to do, like I'm with it. As for the apology on stage, I said this so many times on my channel and I'm gonna keep saying it over and over again. I'm so happy Cole did that. Period, point blank. I don't feel no negativity towards him since then. Additionally, I was watching the Grammys, and something I realized is the comedian Trevor Noah, when he talked about Kendrick Lamar, he talked about Drake. But that's the downside to rapper beef. I don't feel like people pay attention to. And like I said, I don't know if this is because me and Cole got the same birthday, but the way I look at beefs is different than the way everybody else looks at them. When you do a beef, it's you stuck there because entertainment looks at you. The lag is killing me. But entertainment looks at you as that. What's pop culture gets a hold of it, they start treating you like a damn circus monkey. And I really hope that's not what's happened to Kendrick Lamar, but that's what happens when you do shit for the moment and not in its entirety. And Cole is somebody, just from looking at his character throughout the years, integrity has always been a big thing, and him looking at the bigger picture. Cole wants to be known for his music, period, point blank. He don't want to be known for, doing this and that. And, that's not a diss to Kendrick Lamar, but that's what Kendrick felt like he needed to do. But I'm happy Cole didn't do that because now his legacy can just be his music and not be the bullshit. He did get involved in it. He did, but he cut the head off before it could grow legs. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I'm just really happy about that. And lastly, Cole set out to do exactly what he wanted to do. He wanted to be the greats, like Nas, Jay Z, Pac, and Biggie, and he did that. I like to imagine if Cole was on a song with Pac and Biggie, and I feel like he could go toe to toe with them. He did it. He did that. He had set out to do exactly what he wanted to do. He stayed focused. He stayed out of bullshit. Um, you know, Nipsey Hussle is sitting right next to him on that double XL freshman cover, and Nipsey Hussle isn't here no more. Now, is it because of rap beef? I don't think so. But regardless, being a rapper, it's very hard to, make it out alive. Just from what we've been seeing it with history, because there's haters and there's street stuff, and there's just all these other things. And Cole was able to just stay focused on his family, stay focused on his money, stay focused on his legacy, stay focused on his music, and that's it. I think I covered everything. Oh yeah, I don't want no features on this shit. How about y'all? Maybe JID, but that's it. I don't want no features on the fall off. I don't want to hear it. Cole ain't never needed features. Like he just has that voice that don't need it. It's a distraction. There's artists out here that do features and it's like okay, like it sounds cohesive, but I feel like when Cole hops on features, it's lit. But when people are on Cole's songs, I feel like it waters it down. It's like slows him down. If you know what I'm saying. It's not like that for every artist. Um, but for Cole, it's just the case. Like we just want to hear his voice. He kills the features every time though when he's on them. But I think that's it. I covered everything. Make sure you guys follow me on Instagram at TracyVA Media. And go check out my Substack too. Subscribe to my Substack and go ahead and pay it if you want to. There's a paid option, all right? Subscribe to my Substack. I release all the time, every day. I have a Cole article up there too. Go check it out. And I think that's it. My name is Tracy VA of Tracy VA Media, where we keep it real, relevant, and resonating in entertainment and spirituality and more. And I'm going to go ahead and see you guys in the next episode. Thank you.